So without any further delay, let me introduce Heather Metzler.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Heather.
Well, hey, Karen, you're in Oshkosh. I'll be there coming up Friday, so see you soon.
Look forward to seeing you. Yeah. Now looking at, I see the pictures on the screen, Heather, show you at AirVenture. Assuming that's not your normal airport there. And some very interesting aircraft and a young gent. Was he just another person you met at AirVenture?
Okay, so the pictures that we have there is the young gentleman that's with background the airplane behind us is my youngest son, Matthew, and he'll be going with me to AirVenture again. He's a senior in high school. And then the other young man is my oldest son. He's in the United States Coast Guard, so Semper Paratus. And then the other picture there is a picture of my dad and I in an N2S3. That was my transportation back in college. Yeah. So I flew from Little Rock to Henderson State down in Arkadelphia. So yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about your aviation background, Heather? When did you start flying? What are you doing now? How did you get into your current position with the FAA?
Sure, Karen. So I grew up in aviation. My dad took me to the airport when I was about 10, and I just never left. Had to find a way to make a living being there, and it's been a great journey thus far. So my dad owned a banner towing business, and I was a ground crew running around getting the hook and all those good things that you do. And actually, the N2S3, the Stearman you see there, that was the workhorse. And then I went to college, got an aviation degree from Henderson State University. And then flight instructor, which at that time I also became a safety counselor. So I was part of the safety program back then, and then eventually became a FAASTeam representative as that changed. A charter pilot, airline pilot for a while, corporate pilot majority of the time. And then in 2010, I was actually given a seminar for the FAASTeam, and the FAASTeam program manager at the time said, Heather, why don't you go to work for the FAA? And I thought about it. It was 2008, and I was thinking, you know, the FAA would be a good change. So I got hired in 2010, and then I'm able to do my passion now, which is aviation safety, and be able to do outreach and education as a FAASTeam program manager, which I began that in 2014.
Well, you've had quite a wide variety of aviation experiences, and I'm sure most of our viewers, or many of them, are very happy to know you're also an active flight instructor yourself. So without much further ado, let's talk a little bit about what we are going to explain to our viewers about the FAA programs.
Absolutely. So the overview of this program is an opportunity to understand the benefits of the WINGS program. So we're going to talk about what the WINGS program is and how to become involved in the WINGS program as an instructor, and then how it's going to benefit your clients as you are getting involved in WINGS, and how to become involved in WINGS. We're also going to talk about that too.
Yeah, one of the interesting things, which I think many people aren't thoroughly aware of, is the WINGS program is really intended for a general aviation audience, isn't it?
It really is. What it's really designed for is it's general aviation's proficiency program, and it doesn't work without flight instructors. That's why we're so excited that you're here on this program and you're learning the benefits of the WINGS program. It is general aviation's proficiency program. So that if you think about the airlines, you think about, you know, why do they have the safety record that they have? Have you ever thought about that? I mean, I know I have in the position that I'm in. And you think about the crew training that they do, the checking they do, the training equipment that they have, and then the approved training courses. And then you also think about the maintenance program for the aircraft that they have. So with WINGS, it helps you do all of that. It helps you organize your crew training, your crew checking. It helps you organize those training courses. And I'm gonna throw in a little deal there for the maintenance tech as well, that there's the AMT program too. So it's not just WINGS, there's also AMT.
Yeah, so if we think about it, you know, contrasting the professional airline environment compared to general aviation, they really have a very, very defined safety program. So the WINGS is really the safety program designed specifically for general aviation, isn't it?
It really is. It is. It's our program to be able to establish and to be able to train from. Yes.
Yeah. So what is the overall objective of the WINGS program, Heather?
So the overall objective of the WINGS program, especially at the basic level, is to address the primary accident causal factors that continue to plague general aviation. So the WINGS program is developed around those causal factors. And we do the training so that we can help mitigate to be able to avoid those accidents. So once again, if you think about the major airlines and their low accident rate, if you think about the small air carriers and their low accident rate as well, and even think about, I mean, I flew corporate for a while, and when you're in corporate aviation, you know, you gotta go to school, and that's what the insurance companies mandate, specific training, and that helps with the safety program. They're flown by professional pilots. As far as I'm concerned, every general aviation pilot can be a professional pilot, especially if the instructor instills that in them. And the key to that is flight instructors. Flight instructors are general aviation's key to aviation safety. And together with WINGS, we can help make a difference with general aviation.
I agree. You know, I always think of the instructors as the gatekeepers for aviation safety, because everyone has to start learning with an instructor.
Right.
Now, you and I are both part of the FAAST team, so we're both team members, and every team has a mission, doesn't it? So what is our FAAST team mission?
Okay, so every team, to be a great team, you have a mission, just like what you said. And our mission is to improve the nation's accident rate. It's to be able to convey the safety principles that we all know that helps keep accidents from happening. And we do that with training, outreach, and education. We also establish partnerships like this partnership right here. I mean, I'm an FAA FAASTeam program manager. You're with NAFI. We're working together. So, you know, aviation safety doesn't have competition. We all work together to make it safe. And we do that by continual growth and positive safety culture and with the aviation community.
Absolutely. We're all collaborating to improve safety. And it's wonderful to imagine a future where the accident rate will go down and we will have fewer fatalities, isn't it?
It really is. It certainly is. So imagining that, and then here we see a picture of a busted up airplane. I mean, that hurts. That's a nice looking airplane that is not so nice anymore. And this pilot, let me give you a little background on what you're seeing here. This pilot received a tailwheel endorsement and a flight review in July of 2017. You fast forward to May of 2018, so not even a year, and look what's happened. It was a lack of proficiency in talking with the airman. The airman had a 90-day, was legal, 90-day, 3 takeoffs and landing requirements, but actually said I wasn't proficient. So got the flight review, got the tailwheel endorsement, didn't go back to the instructor. And want you to think about this as we go through this program. I want you to look at that picture, take a good look at it, and I want you to imagine that this picture is now on your cell phone. So you're looking at this picture, it's on your cell phone, and it came from your student. And your student sent you a text of this picture. So what's the first thing that's going to go through your mind when you receive this picture on your cell phone? So as we go through the program tonight, keep that picture in mind.
That is painful to see because being a tail dragger pilot myself, I hesitate to tell people what you said this pilot's resolution was, I remember, simply to stop flying tail draggers.
That's right. It's so sad that was the fix for this pilot. I'm just going to sell the airplane, not fly a tail dragger anymore. That's so sad.
Yeah, and that's just sad. It is. And just think if they'd simply kept up a proficiency program, both the pilot and the aircraft would probably have not suffered any damage.
They wouldn't. That picture probably wouldn't be on this webinar right now. You're absolutely right.
That's true. Well, let's start talking a little bit more specifically about the WINGS program and what it can do for CFIs.
So we've got, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I can see that there's some benefits here. Why don't you tell us about them?
So there are benefits. We've got 12 great benefits, and we've got the first 5 right here. So you can renew your flight instructor certificate. There's great amount of training course material there. There's opportunities to be able to embed that into your training syllabus. It supports and reinforces your student one-on-one time, and then also promotes the interaction with your student as well. But wait, there's more. We've got more. We've got it helps to integrate the safety mindset, so it sets the example. We're going to talk about these more in depth as we continue on through the program. It also creates a culture of ongoing proficiency training, just like what we just showed. Keep that picture in mind, that text message that came through. Documents the flight review, so keep the picture in mind. Now who did the sign off, who's going to be getting the phone call. And then we talk about the liability, enhances the reputation to be safety conscious, and a chance for the sweepstakes. I'm super excited about that too. Lots of excitement there.
I have to admit, I consider the WINGS program like a treasure chest with all kinds of little jewels in it, but the sweepstakes program, that is the gold bullion. So I'm sure people are eager to hear more about that.
Yes. And so the last two that we have is it helps to build that ongoing relationship with the clients, and then it offers a great opportunity to join the FAAST team as well, to be a WINGS Pro, and we're going to go into that as we continue.
Okay, so I see that the first benefit you talked about was renewing the CFI with WINGS, and I think that's one of the lesser known benefits and one of the very valuable benefits. So why don't you tell us more?
You're really right about that one. I have been sharing with the flight instructors for the last 4 years, renew with WINGS. I finally had the first one. It took 4 years of going, why don't you just renew with the WINGS program? So it's as I said in the previous slide, it's super easy. So as a flight instructor and you're recommending students for levels of WINGS, so you have to hold a flight instructor certificate that's not expired. You have to hold a current phase of WINGS. That's not difficult at all. And then you have to evaluate at least 15 WINGS accredited flight activities for 5 different pilots. So it's 15 flight activities for 5 different pilots. That's not hard for a busy instructor at all. And then you present that record and you have renewed your flight instructor certificate. Super easy.
Yep, I agree. I have used this myself, and I would strongly encourage flight instructors to do this. It's very, very simple, as Heather mentioned. You only need to fly with 3 different people, and then you can fill out your 8710, have someone from your FSDO authorize it, and you're rolling forward on your flight certificate renewal. You don't have to worry about something like breaking your leg 3 months before your certificate expires, and then how are you going to get it done other than going somewhere for a FIRC? So this
right,
is
and just to clarify, it is 5 different folks that you fly with, but you're right. I mean, why not renew it every time you meet those qualifications? Just renew it right then, and then you can still go to the FIRC. I personally love going to FIRCs, in-person FIRCs, because I get to see all my buddies, and it's a great time. It's a great renewal, and you get to hear the stories and figure out some, maybe if you're having some challenges with some instructors, you're not the only instructor, so you get to visit about that too. But you're absolutely right. It's an easy way to do it.
Yep, and I agree. On-site FIRCs are wonderful. It's just sometimes it doesn't fit people's schedule or they're too far away to visit. Okay, so I understand that was just one benefit. So there's a lot more coming, aren't there?
There are more coming. We've got all kinds of benefits here. We also have an extensive catalog of training materials, and for your ease, because I know there's so much material there on the website. So for your ease, we've created a handout for you for the knowledge and flight activities, and there'll be a summary of how you can locate those at the end of this presentation. But you can certainly see the extensive catalog of training materials. So if you're needing something, we have it with WINGS.
Okay, and I can tell you it's likely been updated since I looked at it, but I recall you, Heather, yourself on another webinar indicating that a printout of this was 32 pages long. And you,
right.
as you indicated, there's over 800 courses available.
There's a tremendous amount of courses available on WINGS, absolutely. And this handout, when you get it and you start looking at it, you probably didn't realize there was WINGS credit per tailwheel endorsement. You get WINGS credit for that. I mean, there's WINGS credit for all kinds of things out there. Absolutely.
Yeah. And as a flight instructor, I find it's very easy to assign these courses to the students and include it as part of your curriculum. So that's another benefit, isn't it?
It is another benefit. So another benefit that we have is that you can embed the courses into your training curriculum. And one of my favorite examples is that I was recently talking to an airman that had just gotten his instrument rating. And of course, the instrument rating, you're really, really focused on flying instruments. But you might have let those landing skills kind of slide a little bit. You know, you come in and you land and you look at the instructor and go, oh, it's just tired. That's why I just bounced that just a little bit. I'm just tired from flying instruments. Well, maybe the skills are kind of degrading a little bit because that's not being practiced much. So you can actually use the WINGS program to be able to embed it into your curriculum so that you're not going to let some of that other proficiency fall to the wayside as you continue to train the airmen.
Yeah, and in addition to the general training curriculum for perhaps all the students, then if you have a student who may be struggling or really interested personally in one particular topic, you could assign individual courses.
That's right. So let's say that you've got an airman that's having an airspace issue. So as you can see there, you know, that we've got a one-on-one session going on, and they've been discussing airspace, and maybe the instructor goes, no, you need a little bit more help on airspace. Why don't you go take this WINGS course on airspace, and then let's talk about it after you've watched the course. 100% great way to do it.
Yeah, and I found a number of courses that, again, depending on that particular student's goals, their interests, their background, it's very easy to find courses that really hit that sweet spot. They pique their interest and they really embed those concepts. And many of the courses are very interactive and require some thought on the person's part to complete them.
They do require a lot of thought, and a lot of them are scenario based. And so it's not just rote out there. It's using that understanding and all the different things that you've got to have to be able to really make sure that the student actually can correlate everything you've been teaching them.
Yeah, and then in addition to, as we talked about, a general curriculum or one-on-one sessions, I think there's huge benefit in those live seminars and webinars like we have tonight, aren't there?
There is. You know, the webinars, fantastic technology. Back in the day, who would have thought that we could be doing this? You in Wisconsin, me in Arkansas, and then everyone where you are, we're all having this great discussion about WINGS and the benefits of it. But the seminars does have a special sweet spot too, because since I grew up at the airport, I grew up in a hangar basically and listening to the hangar flying. And I really look at the seminars like it's a hangar flying session. Well, not a session, but it's a gathering of like-minded people talking about there I was and what I learned from. And then we have specific topics that we talk about because we analyze what the accidents are, and that's part of our mission that we do that. And then we go out and we do the seminars so that we can target those areas that airmen are struggling in. And when you take your student to these, they get to hear other airmen are having the same struggles, or they may go, oh, wow, I don't want to try that, or I might go try that. They get an awareness. It's really, really a fun thing to watch happen.
Yeah, it's really nice, the support, the networking, the camaraderie. That's really, really a nice environment. And also, I find by attending the same seminars that the students coming to, you can discuss it, and it illustrates your personal safety mindset, doesn't it?
It does. It certainly does. It illustrates that. Absolutely. It helps you set that example. Mm-hmm. And so as we set the example, you know, we are instructors. You and I are both instructors. We're setting the example. Other instructors set the example. And, you know, you don't want to just snag the other buddy, you know, the flight instructor and say, okay, let's go knock out our flight reviews real quick. You don't want to do that. That's not a great example to set. What you want to set is the example of proficiency. You want to set the example of you're out there completing a phase of WINGS. One of the best ways to do that is when you're signing off students and they're going to designated pilot examiners, and whether they passed or they didn't pass, the examiner's probably going to call you and go, hey, this airman, this is, he was a little weak in his steep turns. He, kind of did this or that. And they talk you through that. Why not ask that DPE, hey, do you have time to go fly? Let's go do air work. And then knock out a wings credit at the same time. While you're doing that, you can knock out a phase, and then you can reset your flight review too. And it's not just the buddy system that's not very safe, and it's a bad example.
Yep, absolutely. And I know you put this very interesting picture in this slide, so why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Okay, so this slide, when I first saw this happen, I thought, wow, as an instructor, is my student ready for that? Is my student ready to have a duck come through the windshield? And it was a gorgeous day. You can see by the background of the picture that it's an absolutely gorgeous day in Little Rock, Arkansas there. The airman was on final for Little Rock, and duck comes through the propeller. You can see it. I don't have the picture of the propeller there, but it kind of came through the prop a little bit, nailed right there in front of the pilot. And then the sunglasses, the duck, the headset, everything in the back of the airplane. And the windshield lacerated the pilot in the face a little bit. The pilot came in, landed, stopped on the runway, and said, okay, I'm done. I need medical services. Is your student ready for that?
Absolutely. Well, what a great story and a safe one. And by sheer coincidence, I was in an aircraft that hit a duck also. So I think one of the things we've learned is if someone in the aircraft shouts duck, whether it's a noun or a verb, do it. Right?
Do it. That's right. You're absolutely right.
What they said is correct. Okay. And one of the nice things about your story is it points out that the pilot was proficient.
Yes.
That they were able to continue flying the plane. They reacted appropriately. So relating back to WINGS, one of the things is that WINGS does promote that ongoing proficiency and emergency preparedness, doesn't it?
It does promote that emergency preparedness. Absolutely. So what we have here is we have an airplane without any gear. That's not a good thing. It takes a lot of power to taxi like that. No, I'm kidding. So there's a saying. Everybody knows the saying. You can probably say it with me. I can't hear you, but I know you say it. There are those that have and those that will. Well, that's not a great saying. Let's change that saying. Every flight instructor out there right now knows that we can change the saying, and we can put it as there are those that have and those that didn't. And we can do that right now, because as we train folks, do we also train them how to maintain their proficiency? Yes, we teach them how to operate an airplane with the gear going up and down, but do we really work with them to say, okay, now that you know how to do this, this is how you stay proficient. We need to be teaching that more often. And it's not just proficiency on skills, but it's proficiency on procedures. And as you develop a program with the WINGS, you'll see where that's just automatic. It's automatic when you start using WINGS, that not only are you helping teaching skills, but you're also helping to teach how to stay proficient.
When I see a picture like this, the gear up landing or the Sataria with, obviously lost the gear, from a flight instructor point of view, one of our perspectives would be, wow, I hope I wasn't the last person to sign their logbook. Is the FAA going to come calling? What kind of questions are going to arise? Do I have any liability possibly arising out of this situation? So one of the enhancements, or one of the benefits, I think, of the WINGS program is it gives you a very structured flight review, doesn't it? So you don't have to be fearful of signing off on people's logbooks for the flight review.
It does give you a structured flight review. It not only gives you that, but it gives you a standard. It gives you more than what the regulation says, because you set the standard higher when you're using WINGS. It's just that higher standard. And like you said, would you rather have your signature in the logbook, or would you rather have this certificate right here in the logbook that's issued by the FAA? That's the option that you're gonna have to make that decision on. But WINGS, it's an easy way to go fly. It's an easy way to maintain proficiency. And a benefit of that is to be able to have the flight review certificate that is actually issued from the FAA. years and years and years ago, when I got my flight instructor certificate, I had a very, very wise flight instructor slant attorney tell me, Heather, you want to use the WINGS program. And I mean, this is when we had the blue cards. I mean, this was a long time ago when we had the blue cards. Nothing's changed. We have an easier way of doing it than the blue cards now. And it's the easiest thing that you can do. It helps to make sure that everything's good. And I got to say, I don't even give my dad a flight review. My dad's a pilot. He does the WINGS program. I mean, I don't do a flight review for him. We do WINGS.
Like father, like daughter.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, obviously, one of the things that this involvement in the WINGS really does for a flight instructor, because they could be a presenter at a seminar, they could become a FAASTeam rep, they can use it in their curriculum, all these things we've been hearing one-on-one. So obviously, they build a reputation for safety, don't they?
They do build a safety reputation. And as you can see the picture right there, that's the airplane I get to fly to stay proficient in. That's actually a picture of my father and I flying. So I'm super excited to have some photos of that. And I've got a lot of local pilots that, you know, I kind of get the chastising, you know, hey, Heather, why'd you call an instructor to go fly? You know how to fly that airplane. It's an easy airplane to fly. I'm like, yeah, it's an easy airplane to fly. But when I'm not proficient, I've been really busy doing my job, I call an instructor. I mean, I've gone, working for the FAA, I don't fly a whole lot. It's not a flying job. And I've gone from flying about 300 hours a year to last year I flew 36 hours. I mean, I only flew 36 hours last year. That's not a whole lot. And I understand, I totally understand now what it means to be legal and what it means to be proficient. And I lean a lot on the hours that are in my logbook for experience. And I think about that private pilot that doesn't have those hours in the logbook for experience. And it's so, so important as an instructor to set the example and have that reputation. So I've got that reputation out there as a safety conscious flight instructor because they see me going out and flying with an instructor and also maintaining my proficiency with an instructor.
Yeah, and I strongly agree with you. And I wouldn't say it's only for the idea of someone who doesn't fly a huge number of hours. I fly hundreds and hundreds of hours every year, and I still regularly go out with instructors myself. Because when you fly a variety of different aircraft, you have a proficiency question from another perspective. So you need to stay really sharp for every aircraft that you're flying in.
And that is a fantastic point. Just like what we were talking about with the airlines, where they're doing training and checking. It really doesn't matter how many hours you're flying. It matters about the quality of the training and the checking that you're getting. And the WINGS program isn't really checking, but it does have a standard that you fly to. And some airmen may be able to do that flight activity in one flight. It might take a couple flights to be able to get that flight activity for some of the folks. So absolutely, it's a great program.
Okay. And that's such a great picture of you and your dad in that champ. It's quite a treasure. But speaking of treasures, as I mentioned earlier, I think WINGS itself is a treasure chest. And let's talk a little bit about that gold bullion.
Man, isn't this exciting? I'm so excited about the WINGS Sweepstakes. And it's just another reason. Sometimes when we're talking to airmen and we're going, WINGS will keep you safe. That's not enough. But now we can say WINGS can keep you safe and you have a chance to win some cash too. So while you're out there flying and you're maintaining that proficiency, you have this opportunity to be able to participate and a chance to win some cash. And the WINGS Industry Advisory Committee is a coalition of the FAASTeam industry partners, associations, and devoted individuals. I've got to meet a lot of the devoted individuals, and boy, it's super exciting about increasing awareness and participating in the WINGS program. And you can tell I'm excited about this. And the coalition believes that WINGS is enough to offer chances to win cash prizes for completion and validation of WINGS phases.
Well, Heather, since you and I are both on the WINGS Industry Advisory Committee, I'm as excited and passionate about this as you are also. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the sweepstakes?
Okay, so a little bit more about the sweepstakes. It's generously funded by Paul Berger, a longtime advocate for general aviation safety and a retired aviator who believes participation in this program saves lives. He's right. He is so right that this program saves lives. I've been an FPM for 4 years now. I analyze the accidents and incidents in Arkansas. And like I said, I've done it for 4 years. And so far, in Arkansas, I'm just talking about Arkansas numbers, we have not had an airman that's had a pilot error and had a current phase of wings. Now, I'm not saying that if you've got a current phase of wings, the airman's not going to have a bad day, but they're less likely to have a bad day as a pilot error if you're thinking safety all the time. If you're thinking, breathing, and living aviation safety, you're just safer. And it's wonderful that Paul Berger has dedicated not only financial resources, but he's also dedicated a tremendous amount of time and spirit and an all-out effort to help general aviation safety.
Yeah. Just concurring with what you mentioned for Arkansas, here in Wisconsin, I recently heard from our FAASTeam program manager for our state, 13 of the last 14 incidents and accidents in our state were involved airmen who weren't involved in the WINGS program. So is that a coincidence or not? It doesn't seem to be, does it?
It doesn't. And once again, I'm going to fall back on look at the airlines, look at their proficiency program. This is GA's proficiency program. If you're involved in GA's safety program, it's got to make you safer. And now you get a chance to do some cash too at the same time. So to win the cash, hopefully now you've decided, hey, I'm all in. I am into WINGS. I'm doing this, and I'm going to have the opportunity to win some cash at the same time. So now that you've completed the phase of WINGS, you can enter the sweepstakes, and you can claim rewards in WINGS at a glance, or you can also go to the mywingsinitiative.org website. And we've got a few more slides about this later in the program, so we're going to go a little bit more in depth in that a little bit later.
Okay. Another benefit, I believe, of the WINGS program happens to be from a flight instructor point of view. You know, many times we have a student and we sign them off for the practical, they pass, we're all very happy, we shake hands and say goodbye. But the WINGS promotes more than this see you every 2 years mentality, doesn't it?
It really does. It promotes more than just, I'm going to get you through your certificate and then you're going to go fly. It's going to get more than, okay, we'll do your flight review and I'll see you in 24 calendar months. No, we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to help build that relationship between our clients so that they continue to maintain their proficiency. You know, they're coming back. We've got the WINGS topic of the quarter now. Great opportunity for the airmen to actually do some knowledge topics, however they want to do that, and then come in and do some flight topics too. Hopefully you're seeing your clients once a quarter instead of every 24 calendar months. I mean, not only is it safer for everybody to be doing that, but there's probably a little financial incentive there too. You got the sweepstakes, and then you have the airmen coming in once a quarter to go fly with you. We do here in Arkansas. We've got a couple of flight instructors that when they're doing a WINGS topic, they might give just a little bit of a discount because they're flying for WINGS, but they're going to see that airman more often than once every 24 calendar months. So a few things to think about. Build that relationship with your client.
Yeah, and I agree. I see more and more of my clients, and it's wonderful ingraining that idea of continuous proficiency training. It's like, see you next month, you know, see you in 8 weeks. And it takes the stress off of a flight review every, very infrequently. And I tell them, whoever you're flying with, doesn't have to be me. It's good to switch instructors and look for fresh perspectives, but challenge them. Say, teach me something new. It's not an evaluation, it's a proficiency building exercise.
Well, not only that, if you think about the WINGS topic of the quarter, you're flying once a quarter in all the different seasons. You're flying in fall, you're flying in winter, you're flying in spring, you're flying in summer. If you've got the airman that only comes to you every June, do you really know what they're going to do in the wintertime? No. Do you know what they're going to do in the springtime when the wind's blowing? No, you don't. But if you're flying with them once a quarter, you know what that airman's going to be doing and what they need to work on.
Yeah. Well, Heather, now that we've been convincing all these viewers how valuable the WINGS program is, should we tell them about another opportunity?
I think we should. Absolutely. Okay. I think we should tell them that the WINGS offers a great opportunity to be the FAASTeam representative. And not only that, we have on our webinar the 2019 National Safety Team Representative of the Year. So this is how I got to meet Karen. One of the ways how I got to meet Karen too. So super excited that we're getting to share this presentation together and teaching flying above and beyond the minimum requirements. And Karen, you're just well, I'm going to say you're a poster child. The way the system really is and the way it should work.
Yeah, well, thank you, Heather. And as it says here, you could become a WINGS Pro, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the program where we talk about other benefits to your clients. But this terminology is right. It is easier. It's much easier than anyone realizes typically to become involved in the WINGS program as a representative. Okay, let's pause here and see if we have any questions from viewers. Okay, we have a question from Bob. Is it true that CFIs can renew by conducting enough WINGS courses?
So the CFI renews by doing flight activities, and what we have found is that we do have a tremendous amount of airmen that are doing WINGS courses. They're going to online, they're doing the knowledge topics, but somehow they have a hesitation to fly with flight instructors to go do the flight activities. So to renew your CFI, five different people, 5 different airmen in 15 flight activities, not knowledge activities, flight activities. I hope that answers your question, Bob.
Yep, thank you. And we also have just a nice comment I'm going to pass on from Antonio. He indicates he's been through Heather's training and he's a WINGS Pro, and he said she's great. And he's absolutely right. And what he's referring to is when I first became aware of Heather was the same way. She's put together 5 hours of, believe it or not, very interesting webinars on the nuts and bolts of utilizing the the FAASafety.gov website, and it's just extremely valuable in learning how to utilize the WINGS program very thoroughly. So thank you for taking the time to put that together, Heather. Absolutely,
I enjoyed it because I want more people to participate in WINGS, and if I can share the benefits and I can share the nuts and bolts so that we get more airmen there, my goal is that our safety record in general aviation is better than the airlines.
Okay, let's move on. And now we have talked quite a bit about the benefits to the flight instructors personally from involvement in the WINGS program, but there's another side to it. How do we promote this with our clients? Well, let's become conversant with the benefits to your clients as a flight instructor. Now, there's a fair amount of overlap, as you'd expect, because the same materials are available, but let's review these and focus a little bit more on the general aviation pilot perspective, Heather.
So for your clients, this is how you share with your clients on the benefits of WINGS. So you see what the benefits are for you, but when you're sharing a product or a program or something like that, everyone wants to know what's in it for me. And so this is how you can share with your clients what's in it for them. First of all, it satisfies that flight review. They don't have to worry about calling you at the end of the month going, I hope you have time to go fly with me because my flight review is going to end, it's going to expire, and I need to take a trip this weekend. That call doesn't happen anymore because it satisfies the flight review. It provides an opportunity for safety-related online materials. It provides an opportunity for interactive webinars and on-site, kind of what we're doing tonight. I mean, wouldn't it be great to be able to say, hey, you know, we got something to do. We're going to elaborate more on these in a little bit, though. And it allows the pilot to also customize their training. That's a huge one right there, being able to customize your training in the WINGS program.
Okay, are there even more benefits to the client?
There are more benefits. We've got a lot of benefits for the client as well. So it's an ongoing proficiency program which enhances their personal and passenger aviation safety, because we got to think about the passenger as well. I think that's one of my passions about aviation safety is that passenger that's riding along with. And then the document, and then also demonstrating to the FAA. We've talked a little bit about, about the FAA and what happens if that phone call happens. We're going to talk a little bit more about that too. And then it also has the possibility of reducing aviation insurance programs and premiums. We're going to talk about that. And then it might be required, it may be required by the flight club. It might be required by whoever you're flying with.
Yeah. And Heather, are there any tangible benefits, things you can actually touch?
Absolutely. We have WINGS. WINGS has wings. So you can get your official WINGS lapel pins. We're going to talk about that, and a completion certificate. Not only that, you've got the flight review certificate that you can print off as well. More sweepstakes entries. This is just too cool to be able to have this too. And then it promotes a great start in aviation for your students. So we're going to talk specifically about that student pilot that becomes the private pilot.
Yeah. So from the point of view of the general aviation pilots that are listening and the CFIs, it'd be good for them to really understand how WINGS can satisfy a flight review.
Okay, so the way that it satisfies the flight review is a completed phase of WINGS, and I'm just going to talk about the basic level. So a completed phase of WINGS, the basic level, takes 3 knowledge topics and 3 flight topics. Once that's completed, it completes that phase, and then that satisfies the requirements for a flight review, and then that's when you can go print that certificate off right there. And so we're looking at this picture right here, and here's an airplane out in the field. So let's say that you did the normal flight review, and you did the 1-hour ground and the 1-hour flight in the areas that you think need to be covered. And now your student's going to have an emergency and have a engine failure. This is an actual engine failure that happened here in Arkansas. And as you can tell, no one got hurt. Airplane didn't even get hurt. So that's, you get the airplane, you figure out what's wrong with it, you fix it, and you haul it out of there. No one got hurt. Proficient pilot knows what's going to happen when an emergency happens. Did you really spend enough time with that airman on that 1-hour ground, 1-hour flight for that airman to be comfortable to do that? You don't want to be wondering about that. You want to use the WINGS program. It won't leave you wondering.
It's always nice to see those successful outcomes.
It is much better than that broken airplane we saw in the beginning that we're still thinking about.
Yeah. Now we had talked about all those, those hundreds and hundreds of online courses from the point of view of putting them in your flight curriculum or your training curriculum as an instructor, using them for one-on-one sessions. But what about the individual? Can an individual simply access them without being assigned by a flight instructor?
The individual can, because as not scary as flight instructors aren't scary. But I really see people get kind of worked up to go do that flight review. They get all nervous. Oh, I got a flight review. They shouldn't be nervous about it, but they are. Well, what they can do is when they know what they're really weak in, they could go work on this and not have to tell anybody. And then they'll be comfortable with sharing, hey, I was kind of worried about this, but I took this online course and I think I have it now. So can we fly and go out and do what I was kind of worried about? So there's great opportunity for the individual to do a personal schedule and be able to do that.
Yeah, and I found a number of people. I'm so excited about the growth of the WINGS program that I can see happening because people are coming in and asking me questions or saying, what's a good course that you suggest that I take in the FAASafety.gov catalog? Or they found one themselves and they said, I just finished this great course. I really, really enjoyed it. I want to tell you about it so you can suggest it to other people.
That's right.
Yeah.
All kinds of opportunities to do that. You're absolutely right.
Yep, and we had talked previously about the ability to attend these live webinars and online seminars, which are offered becoming so frequently. Our state will likely be offering 200 different live seminars this year.
That is outstanding that you guys are doing that. To be able to get more people involved in WINGS, doing the webinars, doing the on-site seminars, it really helps to be able to build that relationship and to provide the opportunities to be able to have that learning that's always happening.
Yeah. So here's another point. The way we talk about general aviation, I think a lot of people just assume we're talking about powered aircraft. But I'm also a glider pilot. Is there anything in there for me? There is something in there for everyone. There's glider pilots like you, Karen. There's hot air balloon pilots. My dad's a hot air balloon pilot. It's the one certificate that he has that I don't have. No, there's no competition between us at all. But yeah, there's great opportunities for every category and class to be able to participate in the WINGS program. And you're right. We seem to focus on the airplane more, but yeah, I have a special place in my heart as well for the folks that have more than
more than one category that they fly. And with the flight review, you can go do a flight review in a helicopter and then go fly a fixed wing, and it covers it. Are you really ready for that emergency when the engine quits in the fixed wing versus the helicopter? Use the WINGS program. Let it develop your own training so that you're ready for anything and anything that you fly.
Yeah, so really people develop their own personal proficiency training. And I have to tell you that as far as the balloon world, I came across in the WINGS category, in the WINGS catalog, a great course on balloon aeronautical decision making. I think it's a good course for anyone, not only balloonists.
That's great. And there's so many courses. I don't know them all, and so I haven't heard of that one. I'm going to go take that one.
Oh, it's really interesting. You'll enjoy it quite a bit.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that.
Now, balloonists typically, well, not always, but many times they're commercial, so they have passengers. And you already mentioned that, one of your personal passions, mine also, is making sure that when we sign off our flight students, that they are going to be a good PIC and very, very concerned about the safety of their passengers.
That's
so
right.
How do you help that?
That's key. I mean, because we know the risk that we take if we go take a flight. We have our aeronautical decision making that we do. We know what the risks are. We know how to mitigate those risks. But that person that's trusting you or trusting your client to fly them from point A to point B, they really don't have a clue. And so one of the benefits to the clients for the WINGS program is that it does promote that proficiency training, which enhances that personal and passenger aviation safety. And that's so very important. There's so many times that I wish I could have gotten to that airman before they went out and flew, and not only took their lives, but took the lives of the passengers riding with them too.
Yeah, that is what we're all in this for, to reduce that fatality rate and improve the overall safety of general aviation.
It is.
If something does happen, would the WINGS program offer any benefits related to that? So let's say it wasn't a fatality, but someone ended up inverted.
Yeah, so here's another real picture of an Arkansas accident. And what happened here was the engine failed. As you can tell, it's a plowed field, and the airman didn't really have everything the airman was supposed to have. Wasn't in the WINGS program. Now, I'm not saying that the WINGS program is a get out of jail free card, but it's a really great program to be in. So let's just take a step through this. Aircraft crashes. FAA comes in to investigate along with the NTSB, but the FAA has 9 responsibilities to investigate, and they determined that it was the pilot that had the error. And so at that point, they're going to investigate the pilot, and they're going to look into whether they're participating in the FAA's safety program. The FAA safety program is WINGS. And when they look at that, they're seeing that the airman has demonstrated that they're willing and able to comply. So it really does make a difference. Now, I'm also going to say in the same sentence that really most of the time, if they're an active participant in the WINGS program, they're not going to wind up inverted like this. But sometimes things break on airplanes, and it just happens. So being part of that, and then let's say that you get a pilot deviation. Now, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Let's say you get a pilot deviation and you didn't maintain altitude, and you're supposed to maintain altitude, and now you have that phone call coming from the aviation safety inspector doing the investigation. That inspector is going to ask you whether you're a participant in the WINGS program. It's really a great feeling to say, yes, I am. I keep up with my flight activities. I keep up with my knowledge activities, and I maintain a current phase of WINGS. A current phase of WINGS, once every 12 calendar months. If you want to do it more often than that, airlines go every 6 months, training and checking. Your choice, you decide. It really does help. So that inspector can decide to just do counseling at that point. So there's many options with our compliance program on how that gets handled.
Mm-hmm. And I can tell you just a real case situation locally here, that there was someone in his aircraft had lost control, unfortunately caused substantial damage. When the investigator arrived on site, he had already investigated the person's involvement in WINGS and made the comment, "I see you're safety conscious." And the person was. He'd already thought through all the circumstances. They had a very fruitful conversation about what happened and why, and he ended up without a certificate action at all, or even a 709 ride, simply the fly more of the flight instructor under the compliance program.
That's right. With the compliance program, the inspectors are looking at your willingness and your ability to comply, and part of that is definitely the WINGS program.
Yeah. Now, another benefit that I find as a pilot and a flight instructor is when I fill out my annual insurance renewals, it asks, are you involved in the WINGS program? And I simply need to make copies of the certificates, and that gives me a fairly substantial discount on my insurance. Do you find that regularly?
I hear that regularly, that participating in the WINGS program can give you a reduced premium, and I tell you why, because they're smart about it. They're smart about how they manage their insurance companies, and they know that an airman that's part of the WINGS program is least likely to wind up like the airman that you see right there that had a little excursion on takeoff and wound up in the weeds. That's a flight instructor that was not part of the WINGS program, and flight instructors out there, think about how often you touch the controls. Is it just to save your life or to demonstrate something? How often do you demonstrate a maneuver? How often do you actually practice your proficiency? And the insurance companies know this, so they know that if you're out there staying proficient and you're in the WINGS program, they can offer that lower premium because you're probably not going to cost them anything.
Yeah, so the insurance company is smart. They realize people that are involved in active ongoing safety programs are safer pilots. Now, Heather, another one of our similarities is we both happen to be Civil Air Patrol mission pilots and check pilots, aren't we?
Yes, we are. That was super cool when I realized that you were in Civil Air Patrol too, and that we're both check pilots. So that's really, really neat.
Yeah, so one of the things in Civil Air Patrol, it's extraordinarily safety conscious. I'm actually safety officer, and so we have very rigorous requirements to maintain our currency and to maintain our flying privileges, don't we?
We do, and with the CAP, we have a safety management system, which is outstanding. And the way that WINGS and the safety management system with CAP works is that for you CAP pilots, you can go into WINGS and go into the My Preferences and Profile. In the very last tab on the profile says Other. Click on the Other tab, and it's going to give you the opportunity to put your CAP ID number in there, and that automatically ties the CAP safety management system with the WINGS program. And every time you participate in a WINGS activity, that's giving you a safety credit with the CAP as well. Now, there's some other options too. Some clubs require that you're part of the WINGS program. Most everyone knows that if you're a proficient pilot and you have got a proficiency program like WINGS, that you're going to be a safer pilot.
And very, very true. So let's talk a little bit about the tangible benefits. Are you a pin collector? I'm a pin collector.
I am a pin collector. Yes, I am, and I've got the basic and advanced. I'm working on the master. I was bad. I got my master, and I didn't request it in the 12-month period. And so I need to work on my master again so that I can get my master pin, because I don't have the master pin, and I need to work on that. So Avimco sponsors the pins that you can actually wear, and folks can go, hey, where'd you get that pin? Well, I earned that pin. That is not a pin that's given to you just because you showed up at a seminar or just because you took one flight. That pin is earned because you have gone out and you said, I'm safety conscious. I'm going to go do these knowledge topics. I'm going to go do the flight topics. I'm going to earn my pin and my certificate.
Yep. So as Heather mentioned, yeah, they're very nice. They look just like the picture, not quite that size, but they fit very well on a hat or a lapel. Okay. You can also get a Sea Wings pin, I found out, if you're a seaplane pilot.
You can, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And back to, now this is a tangible benefit, but again, there's gold bullion involved, isn't there?
There is. So not only do the flight instructors have the opportunity to win some cash, but also your clients have the opportunity to win some cash. So you guys can go out together and you both have opportunities to win cash. And there's just another reason to choose WINGS and participate and have a chance to win. Once again, you have that opportunity to be able to finish the WINGS phase and then request your sweepstakes chance.
Okay, so do you want to show us the two ways to enter to win one of these or to enter the sweepstakes?
Yeah, so the two ways to build an enter, as you can tell on the presentation there, is that you can go to FAAStafety.gov and then you can click on claim reward, and then that'll take you to an area that you can claim your PIN and the sweepstakes entry at the same time. But you can also go to the website, which is mywingsinitiative.org, and then you can complete and validate right there to be able to enter the sweepstakes. And so that shows where you've completed that phase of WINGS to be able to get the sweepstakes. So not only are you safer, you got a chance to win some cash.
Yeah, and really exciting. And again, something that not many pilots or CFIs are aware of. A student pilot can earn their very first phase, which would also be their first sweepstakes entry, which would also be their first lapel pin on the day they get their certificate. So that's exciting.
And they know how to stay proficient. So not only have we taught them how to fly, we've taught them how to continue to fly safely. And that's really what we've talked about this entire program, is not just learning how to fly, but continuing to fly safely. And the WINGS program helps with that. It helps give you that opportunity to be able to share with your student, hey, now that you are a private pilot, here's your let's get your first phase of WINGS, let's get your first WINGS, and let's show you how to maintain this proficiency so that you're safe at all the years that you fly, and hopefully go all the way up to the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award.
Yeah, and I can tell you one of my students was so enthused, or is so enthused about the WINGS program as a private pilot. He asked me how he could become more involved. So I explained to him how easy it is for anyone with an interest in aviation safety to become a WINGS FAASTeam Representative. So we did the 2 simple online courses, worked with our FAASTeam program manager for the simple hands-on training, and he recently presented his very first WINGS seminar.
That is exciting. You know, the FAASTeam doesn't happen without the volunteers. The volunteers, they're priceless. They're priceless, and they do it. I said volunteers. No one gets paid to do it. They do it because they have a passion for aviation safety. They have a passion to make sure that person getting in that airplane is going to be safe, go enjoy their flight, and come back at the end of the day. And I can't say enough for FAASTeam representatives and all that they do. I've been able to meet a lot of them throughout the nation doing the WINGS Pro webinars. And it really encourages me, and it's really just absolutely wonderful that we've got a lot of great folks that are interested in aviation safety.
Yeah, well, I think it's part of our legacy, is those of us that are involved in the FAASTeam or anyone who's helping promote aviation safety. We really are saving lives. So if we go back to your original picture again, you told us to keep in mind, you got this picture on your cell phone, you received it from one of your students, and what were you thinking when you received this? So what is the story behind this? What are we imagining, Heather?
So what I want you to imagine out of this picture is that whatever you thought about when you first saw this picture, and we went through it and we said, okay, think about this. You just received this. In the text message that goes along with the picture, this is what the text message says. It says, I wish my buddy had a great instructor like you and had been participating in WINGS to stay proficient.
Yeah, so it wasn't one of your students that sent that photo saying, oops, look what happened to me. It's saying, I wish this person had a great instructor like you and they had maintained proficiency. So well said.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that our viewers are looking for more information. So how can they get more information on this topic?
So you can get more information about WINGS benefits and how the nuts and bolts work of WINGS by contacting a WINGS Pro. You can also contact your FAASTeam program manager. If you don't know how to contact the WINGS Pro, the FAASTeam program manager can help you with that as well. And then you can go to the instructor portal on FAASafety.gov and access the WINGS Flight Instructor Guide. Now, we've also included that as a handout. So the WINGS Flight Instructor Guide, and there's also the WINGS Manual that helps explain WINGS a little bit more for you as well.
Okay. One of the things many flight instructors aren't aware of either is how easy it is to validate a WINGS credit. So I'll just mention that. You'd actually receive an email from FAASafety.gov when your student requests validation, or you can actually, right after flying with them, simply go on the website and say, there's your credit now. So it's a very, very simple process.
It is very simple to do. And if you ever have any questions about it, don't stare at the screen longer than 10 minutes. Call somebody for help.
Okay. And being a WINGS Pro, I would invite you, if you're my state, that's my territory, feel free to give me a call. Okay. So let's pause here and see if we have any further questions. Okay. So question is, can a CFI renew WINGS without physically visiting the FSDO?
Renewing WINGS is an administrative action, and any designated pilot examiner should be able to do the administrative action. Now, it depends on the DPE as to whether they're comfortable doing that or not. So visit with your DPE, talk to them about it, but it is administrative in nature.
Okay, thank you. I found it's a very simple process, though. Another question I read recently, there's much money to administer the WINGS program, and that only 5% of pilots use the program. How true is that?
I don't have an actual percentage on the number of pilots, but it could be better. It could always be better. I want to see 100% right there. So even let's say it's 5%, let's say it's 70%, it needs to be 100%.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed is on the homepage, it indicates how many phases of WINGS have been earned, and that's been growing exponentially in the last year. Okay. So we are looking at obviously promoting increasing growth, because what is the cost of the program? What's the cost of a life? If it was a family member of yours that was substantially injured in an aviation accident, what would that be worth to you?
That's right.
Say, Bill's asking us, do WINGS courses make sense for primary students?
WINGS courses do make sense to be able to introduce them to the online courses and even the flight topics, to be able to get them used to the program. They can't get a phase until after they've got their certificate, but they can certainly learn about the program and be able to learn how to be able to do the flight activities.
Yep. And then Tom asks, what is the process for joining the FAASTeam?
The process for joining the FAASTeam. I'm excited.
Question.
Great. Yes. Okay. So the process for that is to contact your FAASTeam program manager and visit with the FAASTeam program manager. If you can also visit with the lead FAASTeam representative as well, and they can help tell you, what more about what we do as the FAASTeam.
Okay. And lead FAASTeam representatives, what those are people such as me. And typically depends on how it's organized within the FSDO region. We have a lead representative for approximately every 7 to 8 FAASTeam representatives. So we basically manage territories.
And if you have difficulty finding a FAASTeam person, you can go to the FAASafety.gov to the homepage, slide down the homepage. On the bottom left, it says find FAASTeam leaders in my area. Click on that, and you click on the state, and it's going to give you the entire list of the directory. And you can click on any state you want to see if you know anybody.
That's true. There are literally 5,000 or more FAASTeam representatives in the United States. Okay. Another question, I don't know if it's the same or different, Tom. Can student pilots participate in the WINGS program? I think we've addressed that previously.
Yeah, right. So they can't earn a phase of WINGS. That you get your first phase when you earn your pilot certificate. So that's that first phase of WINGS right there.
Okay. And here's a good question we can clarify for everyone from Dan. Dan seems to recall that CFIs who want to earn wings credit must fly with an examiner. Is this correct?
No, that's not correct. You fly with a flight instructor. You fly with a flight instructor to be able to go do the flight activity, and then the flight instructor validates that. And I'll share also with you, if you've got an airman that wants to fly and they have a flight instructor that doesn't want to sign off the credit, I don't know why that would ever happen. You as another flight instructor could help that airman be able to work through that process. Just visit with your Wings Pro and they can talk you through that.
Yeah, and I completely agree, and thank you for raising that point, Heather. Any instructor can validate wings credits. You don't have to be an instructor that flew with the individual, but they have to have it documented. You know,
Right.
So someone flew with another instructor who, for whatever reason, said that they weren't going to validate the credits, but they came, and I invite people to bring me their documentation. Then, as long as you can confirm that what is required for their particular flight credit has been accomplished through, for example, the other instructor's endorsements and the notes in the logbook, then you can validate that credit for them.
That's right. And guess who they're going to come to next time?
Yeah.
And it comes to the instructor that's using wings.
There you go. And it does ask you, as the flight instructor, have you personally provided that credit? So you don't have to personally provided the training, but you can validate because of your credentials.
That's right.
Okay. All right. That appears to be all the questions.
Okay.
Okay, Heather, you could probably read your own slide.
I know, right? Set the example, go fly. This is another little airplane my dad and I fly. It's a Piper Vagabond, a PA-17, and that's up at Petit Jean in Arkansas. And, set the example. Go fly, get a phase of wings, and be the instructor that everybody talks about that says, man, that person's really safety conscious. I want to go fly with that instructor. And they know about wings. They know the benefits of wings, and they can help you through it. So I want to thank you for your time. And if you have any questions about anything, that's my email address. You can shoot me an email. You can email your FAASTeam program manager. You can email your Wings Pro. And once again, thank you for attending.
Okay, thank you, Heather. Now we have just a bit more bookkeeping. So thank you so much, Heather, once again for providing this very valuable information on the FAA Pilot Proficiency Wings program for us.
You're absolutely welcome. I've certainly enjoyed it. It's been a joy working with you guys and doing this. I really enjoy it. And I can't wait to see it next week.
Yep, that's true. Look forward to you. Okay, so everyone, remember to earn the Wings credits for this course. It takes more than simply having attended. So you will want to take your mastery quiz. Click the button on the right side of your screen that says pretty clearly, earn Wings credits. This will take you to the FAASafety.gov site to review the course content and take our quiz. I hope you enjoy the quiz. Heather and I put it together, and you find a smile or two, perhaps. You'll see the FAA's got a sense of humor. So
absolutely.
Please take a moment and complete a course evaluation for this broadcast. Your input helps NAFI provide better features and benefits for you. We very much appreciate the extra time that you're taking to do so. And once again, the NAFI Mentor Live program is provided to aviators free of charge. Your contributions will help us to continue these and many other educational content for the betterment of the flight instructor industry and, of course, general aviation. Please donate and support NAFI's educational programs designated to increase knowledge, skills, and professionalism, specifically for CFIs. Thank you very much. Okay, so the Mentor Live page lists the upcoming broadcasts and archive broadcasts. So any of the previous Mentor Live programs are all available for your viewing and for Wings credit also. Feel free to share these with others, with your students and your aviation friends.
On behalf of
Thanks again for watching and fly safely.
And safe flying.